Do you have a card that beckons you to run it, but you know that you shouldn't because giving into the temptation would just cause ruin for your playgroup and yourself? I'll call it a Siren card. No, not that one. Mine is an artifact from 2019, which has only ever been printed in a single precon and was forgotten about as quickly as it was released, which is wild because it fundamentally changes the rules of the game once played, with the potential downside of giving someone that isn't you an extra turn. I'll show you what it is in a second, but be warned, if you're anything like me, I might be cursing you too. Ready? I'm talking about Aeon Engine. Ever heard of it? Aeon Engine is a 5-mana artifact that taps and exiles itself to reverse turn order permanently. It'd be a brilliant Uno reverse card if it didn't enter the battlefield tapped, but the text box taunts me like no other. I've thought about it consistently since it released, and along the way theorized on every possible way to break this card. Here's a short list. Amulet of Vigor and Arkelos Lagoon Mystic let it enter untapped. Unwinding Clock and Seedborn Muse untap it on your opponent's untapped step. Brutaclad Telcor Engine and, well, a ton of other Izzet cards can turn other untapped artifacts you control into a copy. The list goes on. In the right deck list, the enters tapped clause isn't an issue at all. So what is? Well, to be honest, I think the card is pretty bad unless its effect is fully taken advantage of. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean make copies, and lots of them. The tap ability doesn't specify sorcery speed activation, meaning you can change the turn rotation on any player's turn. If you can make multiple copies of Aeon Engine, you can effectively stop all but one opponent from seeing another main phase, as long as there's a single opponent taking turns. This leads me to my final cruel puzzle piece. A deck that makes repeated copies of one artifact can surely make repeated copies of two. So if you can engine lock 2 players out of taking another turn, then Mindslaver the opponent that remains, you can effectively lock out the entire table until nobody is left standing. Can you see why I'm fighting the urge to build it? Leave a comment telling me what your Siren card is.